All right, so we spoke about the five phases, so where one follows the other. So that's called the predictive life cycle. Okay, but that actually never happens, right? So the predictive life cycle that looks something like this, where we first do the planning, and then, we've done the planning, we leave that behind, we move on to the analysis, we get the requirements from the client says, okay, this is what we want, and that's it, like there are no changes made whatsoever. And then we move, and then like, we can leave the client, like we meet with our team, and the group gets together and says like, all right, I'll do this part, you do that part, like, you do these few pages, stuff like that. And then you go your separate ways, each person like does that thing, that's the implementation part. And then at the end, well, once you're done, you just hand it off to the client and you're fine. So that's how we thought things would go. This is how your college projects might go. So notice that the maintenance phase isn't included there because that's done like after the project, right? But typically what happens is it never goes that way. Okay, so we have these other things instead. We have the iterative life cycle, the incremental life cycle, or the agile life cycle, right? So what is the difference between these three, right? So the iterative life cycle looks something like this. Okay, so basically, we go meet the client, like, and the client will say, okay, I want this on my web page, stuff like that. And then, like, you'll meet with your team and say, all right, so let's say we'll choose this template, here, like, let's go through the Wix templates. Oh, these ones look nice. All right, fine. Now let's divide the work. Like, okay, you work on this page, you work on that page, stuff like that. And then on the implementation part, like, you actually get, all the text and the photographs, and you make each page. Now then you go back and show it to the client. The client is like, you know what, actually, like, let's change things up. Like, let's move this stuff to another page. Let's change these photographs. These don't look so good. Like, I didn't like this template. Let's change things around. So you actually have to go through another round of this. Right? So you do a little more analysis, you do a little more design, you do some more implementation, things like that. Right? And then you show the client like all the changes that they'd asked for. The client will ask for more changes, right? So you make those more changes, the client will ask for even more changes. That's how projects go, and this is why like people ask when you're looking for a job. They've asked, "Oh, have you had any experience?" Okay, this is the big reason because most people who don't have any experience will expect like, okay, the outcome is given to me, the structure is given to me, this is going to be just like one of my college projects. That's the way like people out of college would think when they're looking for a job, which is why project managers will ask you, do you have any experience, so you can hit the ground running. They want you to expect that the client will make changes and they'll keep going back and forth on what they want, right? So that is the iterative life cycle. So because of this, people have thought of two new ways. So the incremental life cycle. So now that you expect that things are going to go, changes are going to be made, the incremental life cycle, what you'll do is you'll be like, all right, let's get the website out first. Okay, let's see which are your most important pages. Let's just finish that part first and like get that out. Okay, so you'll say, okay, I want the home page, I want the about page, and I want some another page with some pictures. Those three are the most important. Okay, so let's finish that part first. And then maybe the next part they'll say like, oh, like now that we've got the website up, people like it, people have been asking for a way to donate. Let's have a donations page. Let's put that in. Okay, so that'll be the next the next phase. And then after that they'll be like, oh, people want to log in, we should add a page for volunteers, we should ask a page where people could donate in kind as well. So that's the incremental life cycle. You build a little bit of the website, like whatever's most important, and then you start adding pieces as you go by. Now, the agile life cycle, this is a combination of the iterative and the incremental life cycle. So the two before that, it combines the two, and this is the most successful one. Okay, so the agile life cycle, you'll build a small piece of it, and you'll keep going back and forth with the client to get that small piece first fixed. And as you're working on that, you'll start adding like a few more pages. Ask the client like, oh, how did this go? Like, can we add some more pages? What changes do you want in the old pages? So that's the agile life cycle, and that's the most successful one.